What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard? When I was getting a new aquarium, I put my fish into plastic bags of water to hold them while I set up the new tank. My mother panicked and started punching holes in the bags with a pencil. When I asked her what in the good God she was doing, she came back with, "I'm putting air holes in the bags so your fish don't suffocate." Come on, Helljack. Use your head. Nothing I said could convince her she wasn't the hero of this tale. A girl I used to work with was pissed that her boyfriend only bought me 12 roses. He wouldn't even go all out for a dozen. What a jerk. Maybe her parents were bakers. Trying to do an intervention for my friend who was using meth. It was just me doing the intervention because he had stole from everyone else who ever cared. Anyway, it all started when he was showing me a video on his phone of him smoking meth in a car with some other meth head. I swear on my life this is a real conversation that happened. Him, I wasn't smoking meth. Me, you literally, just now, showed me a video of you smoking meth. You even used the words, "I'm smoking meth," in the video. Him, no, but I wasn't smoking it. Me, you held a pipe up to your mouth, sparked a lighter, and inhaled smoke. It was all on the video you just now showed me. Him, it wasn't smoking because it doesn't count if you inhale it through your nose. If you have with a pregnant girl, you can change the biological dad to you. We went to a prestigious school and he wasn't dumb. Everyone looked at him like an idiot. When I did tattoos, I had a guy come into the shop that wanted Mr. 113 on his wrist. Not really all that out of the ordinary. We get it drawn up. My co-worker placed it and she starts to do the tattoo. As soon as she starts, the guy screams in pain and jumps up. What the hell is in that thing? Is there a needle in there? That hurts. ... What? This guy was in his 30s or 40s. How do you not know how tattoos are done? He said, "I don't know. Just thought it was some permanent ink or something." The guy went outside for almost an hour to smoke and I guess hype himself up. He got the outline done at least, but couldn't take the pain anymore and didn't get it filled. Still can't believe he didn't know tattoos were done with a needle. Oxygen doesn't come from trees. It comes from the air. My mum once asked if they had wind in Canada. Had a friend over years ago and we were talking about my plasma TV. He said that he would never buy a plasma TV because he didn't want to have to replace the plasma when it ran out. I didn't correct him. I thought it would be best if he didn't buy a plasma TV. I overheard this woman trying to convince her friend that Lake Michigan is an ocean. Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan. Islands are land that float on the ocean. The man that said this is now a tenured professor at a private university. He was about 17 when he said this. Also, he teaches history and the university is a well-known and completely legitimate one. My friend thinks that hibernation is a hoax because she's seen pictures of bears in the snow. The first picture she showed me was of a polar bear. This is amazing because what would be the point of a hibernation hoax? Wait, you've been to Indiana? Do they really speak English? I used to work in a grocery store and this elderly woman said, 25 cents a pound, I can get them 4 pounds for $1 at Safeway. Elderly lady my mom knew refused to ever drink Colombian coffee because she was convinced that they secretly put in it. If that was the case, every store would be sold out of it as soon as they got it in. Idiot. I bought a Venus flytrap for my desk at work. One of the women who works in HR came over to my desk and stared at it for a long time looking confused. Eventually she asked, "Where are its eyes?" I was in a college class, and we were talking about agriculture. Me being from a farming town, I was explaining how important certain aspects of farming are interesting, and super important. This one student was not budging, and she was refusing whatever I was saying. I asked her why she was so against farming, and she said, "I think we should get rid of all of them. We don't need them." I asked her if she liked to eat, and she said we would be fine. We could just get food from the stores. I asked her how she planned on getting that food into the store. She responded with, "Well, they already make all the food in the store as it is, right? Why do we need farms? They're stealing money from our local businesses." So in a nutshell, she thought everything, flowers, fish, chicken, loaf bread, and like everything, was made in the stores. And that's why we don't need farms. There's steam, but I don't know where it's coming from. Lady who sent back her soup for the third time because it wasn't hot enough. My old housemate thought that Down syndrome was something you could get from vaccines. She wasn't anti-vax. She was talking about vaccines and said I don't get why parents are afraid to get their kids vaccinated. The chances of catching Down syndrome are really low. I mean, technically she's correct. Yes indeed. Low, like 0%. I taught scuba diving in Vancouver for a few years. After the 2-week open water course beginner course covering all the basics of dive theory and skills development in the local pool, we finally went to the ocean to do our first 2 open water dives. In the ocean, the Pacific, it's always been there, just to the west of us. I had a student that I heard say while they were putting on their fins for the first time, "Hey, this ocean is salty." Wow. Same class one had a student that thought the pool water was blue, and was surprised that it was clear when he went under the water for the first time with a mask on. I had to explain that it was the walls of the pool that had blue tiles on them, and that is the color he was seeing. It was quite a group. My brother used to be a park ranger. One time a lady asked him how long it took for a deer to become a moose. He said about 7 years. Is African a religion? Obviously. How else would they have blessed the rains? My younger cousin boy in Bangladesh got bitten a monkey. Somehow, my uncle, not the cousin's dad, genuine was worried that would make him pregnant. Some weird old ancient folktale. He genuinely believed it. I can't even with that amount of stupidity. When I busted my ex-husband for chronic cheating, he begged me to stay with him. Why, you ask? Because cheating was just a hobby for him, and it was no different than my painting hobby. In a rather heated exchange, my mother once told me that all generalized statements were stupid. She used to smoke all the time, but she didn't get cancer until after she went to the doctor. My co-worker honestly thinks if we keep throwing our garbage into the ocean that nature will take care of it with no negative consequences. I met a girl who tried to warn me about drinking water that had been boiled, because she said it boiled away the hydration and you'd still die of thirst if you just drank that. Someone giving their 1-month-old infant a bottle full of juice and water because her mother said to, also denying the professional nutritionist that told her that's bad for a baby. Another baby, under 1 year old, whose mom puts soda in a bottle because the baby likes it. I don't think people realize how actually life-threatening it is to give their own children these things, and the fact that they don't put an ounce of research into what they give their kids, or listen to the professionals telling them what they're doing is wrong, just makes me so angry. I drive for Uber on the weekends, and one time a girl who was in her late 20s told me that I was making her uncomfortable. I haven't said a word the whole trip, so I asked how I could make the situation better. She said she didn't like how I kept playing with the fidget stick in the middle of my car. I drive a manual. She then told me that I didn't need to use that because her car didn't have that and claimed to be a mechanic. If I could find a country that didn't take immigrants in, I'd move there. Freshman English class. We were reading Lord of the Flies at the same time the movie Alive about a soccer team's plane crashing in the Andes Mountains came out. Since both were about groups being stranded and the politics, society building that results, we were discussing the movie in class one day. When discussing their resorting to cannibalism as they remained stranded on the mountain, this one girl asked, why didn't they just order Domino's or something and have it delivered? A girls in math class didn't understand fractions. We got down to this because the teacher was explaining something else pretty simple that she didn't understand, so broke it down and figured out she didn't get fractions. Well, that's a little odd, but with a minute of explanation she should get it. Nope. Teacher asked what is larger, 1/2 or 1/3. The girl said 3 is more than 2, so 1/3 is larger. Teacher drew 2 circles on the board, divided one in 2 and the other in 3 parts. Which is bigger? Girl gave the same answer. Teacher erased both circles, grabbed 2 pieces of paper, ripped one in half, one in thirds, held up a piece of both. Which one is larger? Girl pointed out the 1/3 piece. Forget that there are more piece and he binned the rest. holding up the initial two pieces again. Just look at the size. Which one is larger? Girl pointed out the smaller one again. Defeated. Teacher lowered his arms and walked back to his desk. Please take no offense in this, but are you familiar with the words and concepts of smaller and larger? He asked. The girl said she did. Teacher pointed outside. See those trees? Which is larger, right or left? Left. Girl said, and she was right. The left tree was about 5 meters taller. Then which piece of paper is larger? Holding them up again. Girl pointed out the smaller piece and the teacher walked out of the classroom. One time when I was in algebra my junior year of high school, I overheard a group of girls trying to convince a friend the plural form of the word ghost is ghost. At first I thought they were joking, but the more they talked the more I realized they were serious. Girl 1. But I always thought it was ghosts. Girl 2. Are you stupid? It's ghost. Like look at all those ghosts.